For years, the homeowner struggled with the narrow dirt path leading to their property. Rain turned it into mud, and cars constantly got stuck. Deliveries were delayed, and frustration grew. Finally, they realized it was time for change. A new, well-built road would solve everything and bring peace of mind. After careful thought, the homeowner decided to build a proper road. They met with contractors, reviewed costs, and visualized a smooth driveway connecting perfectly to their property. Excitement grew as plans came together. To them, it wasn't just construction, it was an upgrade that would finally improve their daily life. Soon, heavy machinery rolled in, gravel poured, soil was leveled, and the rough ground transformed into something new. The sound of progress filled the air, each step bringing the project closer to reality. To the homeowner, it was a dream unfolding, but to Karen, it was a nightmare brewing. From across the street, HOA. Karen watched the activity with a scowl. Every rumble of machinery seemed to shake her nerve. She muttered complaints under her breath, already planning her objection. The homeowner was thrilled about progress, but Karen was preparing to make this road project her personal battlefield. The very next morning, Karen marched across the street, clipboard in hand. She wasted no time pointing out violations that only she seemed to notice. The road, she claimed, was against HOA rule. The homeowner listened politely, but inside, they knew this was only the beginning of Karen's meddling. Karen raised her voice, insisting the road was an eyesore that would ruin the neighborhood's aesthetic. Workers paused to watch the drama unfold. The homeowner explained the road was entirely on private property, but Karen didn't care. She thrived on confrontation, and this project had given her the perfect stage. Unable to win the argument, Karen threatened steep HOA fines. She warned that letters and penalties would follow. Her voice carried across the street, drawing curious stares from neighbors. The homeowner remained composed, realizing Karen wasn't just annoyed. She was determined to turn this road project into a war. As Karen stormed away, the homeowner stood firm. The road was needed, the permits were valid, and the work would continue. They refused to be bullied by HOA threats. What Karen didn't realize was that every attempt to stop the project only fueled the homeowner's determination to see it finished. A few days later, an official-looking envelope arrived in the homeowner's mailbox. Inside was a stern HOA letter full of accusations about unapproved construction. It threatened escalating fines unless the project stopped immediately. The homeowner wasn't surprised. This was Karen's next move, and it was only the start of her campaign. Karen didn't stop with letters. She approached the construction crew directly, warning them they could be fined or even sued for helping. Some workers hesitated, unsure if her threats were real, but the contractor reassured them that everything was legal. Karen's attempts at intimidation were bold, but not effective. Word spread quickly, and soon neighbors took sides. Some quietly supported the homeowner, happy someone was improving their property. Others, swayed by Karen's constant complaints, frowned at the noise and dust. The street was no longer peaceful. It had become a stage for conflict, with everyone watching closely. Instead of backing down, the homeowner gathered all permits and legal documents, preparing to fight Karen on her own turf. If she wanted a battle, they were ready. The road was legal, the work would continue, and the next chapter in this HOA drama was only just beginning. Karen wasted no time calling an emergency HOA board meeting. She stood at the center, waving photos of the construction site like evidence of a crime. Her voice rose as she demanded action, insisting the new road threatened neighborhood harmony. The board listened carefully, but not everyone was convinced. She claimed the road would lower property values, invite traffic, and destroy the neighborhood's charm. With dramatic gestures, she painted the project as reckless and selfish. A few board members nodded along, swayed by her confidence. Others exchanged doubtful glances, quietly questioning if this battle was really worth fighting. When given the chance, the homeowner calmly presented permits, approvals, and facts. Every claim Karen made was dismantled with proof. The road was fully legal, fully compliant, and undeniably needed. Murmurs spread through the room. Karen's dramatic accusations were starting to lose power against cold, undeniable evidence. After heated debate, the board delivered its decision. The construction could continue. Karen was furious, her face tight with frustration as neighbors whispered around her. For the homeowner, it was a small but powerful victory. Yet deep down, they knew Karen wasn't finished. She was only regrouping. Late one evening, when the workers had gone home, Karen crept across the street. Armed with spray paint and cones, she tried blocking the unfinished road. Her plan was simple: create enough of a mess to slow progress. But cameras were watching, recording her every reckless move in the dark. The next morning, the crew arrived to find cones stones scattered, paint sprayed across gravel, and tire marks intentionally made to damage the progress. The homeowner shook their head, knowing immediately who was behind it. The evidence wasn't just obvious, it was undeniable, thanks to clear footage captured overnight. Word spread quickly, and this time the neighborhood wasn't on Karen's side. Many were furious that she had crossed the line from complaining to sabotage. Even those who disliked the noise agreed she had gone too far. Whispered gossip turned into open criticism, leaving Karen more isolated than ever before. The homeowner confronted Karen with the footage, playing it back in front of shocked neighbors. Her face turned red as every moment was revealed. There was no excuse left. Karen tried to argue, but the evidence was overwhelming. The community had finally seen her true colors, and her power was slipping. The HOA board, once sympathetic to Karen, now had no choice but to act. Sabotage was a serious offense. At the next meeting, they issued fines against her for damaging property and disturbing community peace. Karen was stunned. For the first time, her beloved HOA wasn't standing behind her. Things escalated further when police arrived to review the security footage. With clear proof of her actions, Karen was issued an official warning. The once confident neighbor now looked small and rattled. Everyone could see it. Karen had finally crossed a line even the authorities couldn't ignore. Once the center of gossip and influence, Karen now found herself avoided. Neighbors who used to nod politely turned away. Her reputation, built on control and intimidation, had crumbled. The street felt different now, lighter, freer, as though the entire neighborhood had been released from Karen's grip. Meanwhile, the construction pressed on without delay. The road was nearly finished, smoother and stronger than anyone imagined. For the homeowner, it wasn't just about convenience anymore. It had become a symbol, proof that persistence could overcome bullying, and that even Karen's strongest efforts couldn't stop progress. As the road neared completion, Karen made one final desperate attempt. She stormed across the street, shouting that the project was ruining everything. Her voice echoed, but this time, no one listened. Neighbors simply watched, tired of her theatrics, knowing she had already lost the battle she started. Karen's anger boiled over into a full meltdown. She kicked at gravel, waved her arms wildly, and accused everyone of betrayal. The outburst wasn't intimidating. It was pitiful. Phones came out, recording her tantrum. What was once fear of Karen had turned into laughter and disbelief. The homeowner didn't raise their voice. They simply stood firm, letting Karen expose herself. The crowd saw everything, her desperation, her loss of control. It was the clearest sign yet. Karen was no longer a leader or enforcer. She was just a neighbor who had gone too far. Finally, exhausted and humiliated, Karen stormed back to her house. Her front door slammed shut, echoing across the street. The neighborhood exhaled in relief. For the first time in years, people felt free from her constant control. The road stood tall, and Karen's reign had crumbled. Weeks later, the road was finished, smooth, sturdy, and a true improvement. Cars rolled in easily, deliveries arrived without delay, and the homeowner finally enjoyed the convenience they had dreamed of. What started as a simple project had become a symbol of resilience, standing proudly in the neighborhood. With Karen silenced, the neighborhood felt lighter. Families gathered to admire the finished road, some even congratulating the homeowner for standing strong. Laughter replaced tension, and conversations shifted to positivity. It was proof that one determined voice could break free from control and bring real change to the community. Meanwhile, Karen stayed behind her curtains, peeking out at the laughter she no longer controlled. The power she once wielded had slipped away. Isolated and ignored, she was left only with her bitterness. The neighborhood had moved forward, while she remained stuck in the shadow of her own actions. For the homeowner, victory wasn't just a road, it was a lesson. Persistence defeated bullying. Truth defeated lies, and community defeated control. The driveway would serve as a daily reminder that standing firm against unfair power could inspire others. In the end, progress always finds a way forward. If you enjoyed this story of HOA drama and Karen chaos, make sure to hit like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more unbelievable neighborhood stories every week.